Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is World Autism Acceptance Week. I would say Awareness Week, but I know we're changing it to, World Autism Acceptance Week rather than Awareness Weeks. But anyway, we're back with another video. Today is a really cool one, actually. I met this person or these people on Instagram and was instantly struck by the awesome show that they had going on. It's all cool. We're going to get into it right now.
I'm Geege. Oh, are you single? Oh! Watch out. And my autistic son, Pootie, lays down the dance floor that we all dance upon.
I'm a pony. I'm a pony.
This is gonna make me vomit. I'm gonna throw up.
We got some good-looking boys in this car.
I was talking to Harper. You know how she's been worried about missing Pooh when she goes to Italy.
I don't want Pootie to think that I left him.
Please welcome to the show, G and Tyler Curtis. Guys, how's it going?
Hi.
Great.
Thanks for having us. We're great.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So for people who don't know who you guys are, do you want to kind of just let us know who you are and what you do?
Oh, sure. So I am Geege Taylor, and this is Tyler Curtis Corey Elliott.
Please.
And he is my best friend. He's my roommate. He is my son's caregiver. He's my husband, basically. I'm single. He lives with me. We have a television show called Leave It to Geege, a reality docuseries. It's out on Lifetime. It's produced by the Emmy-winning World of Wonder, who we are obsessed with. They make TV shows that celebrate people for exactly who they are and love people of all abilities, so we couldn't be hooked up with a better production company. And this show is around our lives living with autism. And when I wrote the show, I was really wanting to accomplish these few things. I wanted to educate people about autism. I wanted to entertain people and inspire people. And I really feel like we've accomplished that with this show.
Checked all three boxes.
We checked all three. If we do say so ourselves. So
yeah, biased opinion, but
so my son, who we affectionately call Pootie, is 19. He is non-speaking, and he needs 24/7 support. And the show has 4 different young adults with autism on the show, and you just sort of get to see their walk through life. And if we've done our job right, I say this all the time, you'll forget you're watching a show about autism. Everybody's on a level playing field. And, the main thing that we really want to impart is that autism brings me more joy. My life is happier now than it ever was before autism came into it. And for some people, they're just like, really? But when you watch the show, you'll get it. This one, even in our season finale, revealed his diagnosis of autism. So what I love about the show is it's raw, it's real. It's, to me, the first of its kind that shows, autism from one end to the other and everything in between.
Yeah, the range is just unheard of.
It's
in the
amazing
media. To have someone
Yeah.
who is non-speaking all the way to someone seeking a diagnosis is just an awesome range.
Yeah, absolutely. I was completely blown away by the concept and the idea, and you're absolutely right. There's nothing of it. Like I've never seen anything like it, and that really this is why I would love to have you on, because it's so unique, but it's so needed, because, and this is one of the things that I kind of really annoys me about kind of typically TV. They show all kinds of different people with abilities, right? But they never show autism in a light where it's not just like, they put it this person's kid is diagnosed with autism and it's a terrible thing. It's all this kind of stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
I get it, but
That's exactly why I came up with the idea of the show. Because when my son was diagnosed like 17 years ago, everything I had seen in the media was super heavy, documentaries, kind of dense, heavy, medical, a lot of kind of gloom and doom,
Yeah,
not all,
100%.
but kind of heavy, So I was finding, it was a struggle at first for me to kind of educate myself and navigate, through that world, and that I knew nothing about, and there wasn't a lot of talk in the media about it 17 years ago.
No.
So
That's the type of thing you can wait and expect someone else to eventually do what's right, or you can take it into your own hands, which is what you did.
I'm a grinder. I took it into my own hands. I was like, I am so tired of every time I see something, which was hardly ever in the media, being something that leaves me feeling,
Worse.
And I wanted to see, my life with autism our family was happy. Sure, we have struggles. I've got struggles with Pootie, but I also have a lot of struggles with my daughter. I have struggles with him. I have struggles with everybody.
I struggle with myself.
Yeah, I
Douche.
do. So, yeah, I wanted to show something that represented the life we were living where we were thriving with it, but
Yes.
that being said, of course, there's challenges with it, and I'm very, mindful of that, but I'm a really positive person. I like to focus on what's going right in my world. And I really wanted to share that message. And I felt like, given the people that I have around me, that we were the people to tell the story,
Definitely.
Huge cast of characters.
Yeah, dude. So talking about the cast, how are they all related? Are you related to them through like social circles? Like how does it all fit together?
Well, that's kind of what's great about this house is
Yeah.
it is like a huge community. Like it's very like, all kinds of religions have references that are like, it takes a village to raise someone, but even just having this big community, I feel like the majority of the people in the show that are referred to as family, myself included, have no blood relation.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, everybody's always just over here and everybody's always just like, we are
Hanging
just
out.
one big family,
We're right now in my guest room that's being lived in by Cree. She's a friend of mine who's also on the show, and she's decided to move in for a while. So, so it's my big family, my blood relations, along with chosen family, and we just kind of support each other and have made our own little community. So it's a very diverse cast. It has a lot more going on than just autism, like I said. So, yeah.
How do you feel the dynamic of the show works? Is it difficult to film a show, and also do life in that type of environment? You got kids on the spectrum, you got people there. It's a difficult thing to maneuver around when you're not trying to film a TV show, right? So
well,
what's it like?
that was one thing when I started the conception of this idea. Pootie was probably about 7, and I started realizing he's the kid to tell this story because he likes, social interaction.
He likes people. He likes bright lights. He likes loud noises. Like, he's just such a sensory seeker. He's not sensory avoider in any way. He wants as much input as possible. Yeah. And that's why we have 40 people in our house all the time.
Yeah.
So he's like the perfect person because he's not going to be bothered by having cameramen in the house or lights in the house or anything like that. He was excited, He
was excited. He bonded with the crew. And, and another thing was, they were also, the crew was sensitivity trained. They were trained, they studied different aspects of autism. I'm not quite sure this all happened when they were in LA, but they came to us with intelligent questions, and it seemed like they knew a lot about autism. They just needed to kind of understand Pootie's particular walk with autism.
Individual dynamics,
right?
And they're overly sensitive. Like, even like we were talking about the lights, like the lights wouldn't bother him. It'd be something he actually likes, having bright lights. But still, even just to be safe, they put lights in the ceilings instead of having them around our house where they would be like messing up his routine and stuff,
Super interesting.
I mean, they were very accommodating. Even though they didn't even really need to be, they were.
They were. And we also had this unspoken, well, not unspoken, but we had this agreement that, whenever Pootie, my son, if he got stressed out by what was going on, everything would just stop. And also, we didn't expect Pootie to participate any more than he wowould normally. He is not, when we're doing something, we've got something that we're going to film, and, an activity, or we're sitting around chatting on the, at the house, we're doing what we normally do. But so you'll see Pootie drift in and drift out. Yep. And that is because that's what he wants to do. So we were like, Pootie is non-speaking. So he can't really, we've heard a lot of people say, well, he can't consent.
Well, he can assent. He can walk right out of the, or he can assent. He can walk into the room, and he can dissent. He can walk out of the damn room.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we knew, like, with his personality, he would enjoy the opportunities that came about with this. We got to do lots of different activities and fun things that he enjoyed. Nobody expected him to do anything he didn't want to do. And off camera, he always had his behavioral therapist with him the entire time we filmed. So we knew there was somebody, I don't trust, we always have eyes on Pootie. So there's always somebody there. And then as far as the other cast members with autism, Nikki and Cleet, who's actually Tyler's brother,
Not Nikki Cleet.
Yes, Nikki and Cleet, two other guys who are on it. Everything that they did was stuff that we knew they'd love to do. You know, like we're going to film them at their prom for their, you know, ESP, the group that the camp they all go to.
Or at Java Julie, which is where they work. It's this coffee cart they work at, and they love it. It's like their favorite thing in the whole world. So they went and filmed them there doing their normal vocational stuff, you know?
Yeah. So it's not like we were like, hey, we're going to film a show. We're going to make you come and be on a set for 10 hours.
Here's a stupid screw up. Like, there's none of that. Yeah.
Nothing like that.
It looks really well made. So I'm in the United Kingdom, and some of my viewers are in the United Kingdom, and so they'll have a difficulty kind of trying to find it off the bat, right? But I know that you can watch it at mylifetime.com, right? That's the site.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so the show is actually called Leave It to Geege, and so if you are in the UK, you can only really watch it if you're running like a VPN. If you don't know what that is, just go onto Google and look for a VPN. It's like a tiny little thing that you install, and then you can run like as if your computer's in America or Africa or wherever you want, really. And then you go to mylifetime.com and you can watch the show. But when I'd seen the clips on like Instagram and stuff like that on social media, it was just so well made. I was like, wow, you know, like it was insane.
That's World of Wonder Dog.
That's I was about to say. That's World of Wonder Dog.
They're a great production company.
I knew when I walked in that I was in love with them. I already knew who they were, what they represented, what they did. But I walked into their conference room almost 10 years ago. I've been with them for a long time. And I saw more Emmys in there that you could. They're just all over the place, you know. So I was like
using those hat racks.
Damn, yeah. I mean, just all over the place. So, I mean, they're Emmy making machines. They know what they're doing, but their heart is so big, and they love telling stories.
Mm-hmm, they're good storytellers.
Yeah, they love telling stories of marginalized communities. You know, so they were the ones to go for. They root for the underdog.
Dude, I love that. You see, there's not a lot of that around. And one of the things, and the reason why I wanted you guys on to show my audience is because I really think that, you know, the parents of autistic kids, especially like really young kids, it would be a really good eye opener to see like, how's it like for them to develop and become like young adults? And, you know, what's that like? What's that dynamic like? Can you have friends over? Well, you guys do it, man. You guys have a party house by the sounds of it.
Yeah,
and, we did. And like, I got to come over, dudes. I'm flying over. But, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's that thing that we were getting back to right at the start when we were saying like, you know, okay, we understand the doom and gloom stuff. What about the fun stuff? What about the cool stuff? What about the things that can really kind of show you some insights to life that can be like, wow, this is so interesting. It's just a different perspective. And I think that you guys really, really do complete that. And I think that's awesome. So
I love that. I love that different perspective. That's the spice in life, you know. I get bored with basic robotic basic bitches. I want some spice. I want some, you know, people.
Some novelty.
Tyler, Pootie, Cleet, Nikki, they all see the world in a different way, but it's beautiful, you know. And like the little things that Pootie does, the different takes that you have. I mean, to me, that's what's interesting, you know. And I think that if you're not, I was never, when Pootie was little, trying to constantly tell him no and redirect him. You know, I was always told, you know, oh, redirect this behavior if it's not typical, you know.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, fuck that dog. I'm gonna like let him be him.
Yeah, just do you.
I'm gonna celebrate him. So what? He's doing this backwards, but he's making it work. He likes it that way. Every time I try to make him do it the other way, he gets pissed off. So be you. What's
Dude, life's for living, right? Live it, man.
Life is for living. He still gets, you know, lots of, you know, great schooling, and, you know, we throw everything at him to give him the best advantages. But at the end of the day, we celebrate him for who he is, not who we, you know, I can't stay in the mindset of only being happy if your child with autism is acting typical, you know.
That's bullcrap. No, like, and that's it, you know. That's the essence of life, man. Like happiness. If you're happy, you're thriving, you know. That's like, that is it. And survival always comes down to that. Are you happy? Well, yeah, you know. And you know, who cares what people see as typical? Like I love that, you know. I love the differences in people, and I love that you can just like express yourself in certain ways and just do whatever you want, and that's cool, right? Why can't you just like celebrate that, you know? As long as you're happy, who cares, right? And that's really the key here. And I love that. And I think that what you do with the show, it really encapsulates that, because it's such a fun thing to watch. And I was like, honestly, like when you guys contacted me on Instagram, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, no, there's a show about autism in America. We gotta watch it. And we were like running around trying to find it, you know, because I did some work with Netflix on Atypical, and that being kind of like a more dramatic kind of like, it's made up, it's fantasy, it's not real.
Yeah.
But with you guys, I was like, oh yeah, and I love this kind of stuff. I love reality TV for the fact that you have the ability to show something that is never normally shown. And so I'm just so excited about it. That being said, we're getting close to wrapping up, but I did briefly speak to you guys before, and we were talking about season 2, and I know that like we don't know if season 2 is on the cards yet. I know we'd love it to be, and I think that it definitely needs to be. So it would be really cool if like anybody watching this, and you guys can go and check out the show and come back and watch this video again, so you get like a bit more of a background of what we're talking about. But if you could help maybe like tweet the show or something, or like maybe run something on social media where you guys just kind of hashtag, leave it to G, like, yeah, we want a season 2. Just vocalize that you want a season 2, right? Because I'm going to do it, because it definitely needs to happen.
I love you for it. I love you.
Yeah, and share it with everybody, because that's really the best way to like, if we'll get a season 2 if everybody's watching us.
Dude, 100%. I'm going to be, so anybody who follows me on Instagram, I'm going to be sharing some of the videos that Geege shares with me that I'm allowed to share on my stories as well. So you can get some little snapshots, just because it's so cool. Like I've never seen anything like it before. I'm 100% behind this. You guys have to check it out. All the links are in the description of this video and on the show notes of this podcast episode as well, if you want to go and check that out. And I highly recommend you do. Guys, before we call it a day, is there anything you'd like to say about the show or about you guys or about autism? Anything you'd like to say, leave everyone with a lasting message.
I just think that, this show is so special. We celebrate the highs, the lows of life. Our lives are beautiful, it's chaotic, it's kind of zany and crazy. And
that's the beauty.
I just feel like, that there's more stories to tell with this series. There's so much more to say. And these beautiful people, this marginalized community, to me, feels like the most marginalized of all marginalized communities. And that is because a lot of, our friends with autism don't even have a voice, like my son. So to me, this is so important to get this message out there. And the main thing I wanted to do is have people look at somebody like my son who's out in public. Maybe he's stimming, maybe he's doing something that doesn't seem really typical. And instead of people staring at us like, what the fuck am I looking at? They can get it. They understand, like, you know what? Now that I know what you're doing, you're just trying to regulate yourself. And if I were in your shoes, I'd be doing the same thing. 100%. So 100%. You just respect what they're doing and move on. And the biggest compliment I got was our showrunner, who made the show, is fantastic, Sam Hartspan. She said that her mom had watched the show. She was later at a grocery store and she saw a person with autism who's kind of doing, flapping around, doing their thing, happy. And instead of thinking like,
what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, what is this? This your child is not well behaved. You need to pull them in line. She instantly knew. And she was like, you know what? This kid's happy. He's doing his thing. He probably has autism from what I can gather, and I'm not worried about him. He's probably living a better life than me. Bye. Just kept going on. And that to me was perfect. So
dude, that's fire. That is so cool. See, that's the beauty of it. And see, like with things like media, that's why I love video. That's why I do video content every single day. Like you can really reach people with a message by doing video. And I think I salute you guys for doing that, because you're doing something absolutely amazing and I love it. So you got my full support.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
We're
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.